Have you ever been able to pick up a perfect pepper or a pear or even a pineapple that we have right here? Well, Tim Rohde, he's the general manager of Cashwise in Fargo, and he is joining me to show us how to pick the best produce. Welcome, Tim. And I am so excited. I want to know how many women and men out there have gone to the grocery store, and I feel like we're just trying to look cool or make it look like we know what we're doing. So you pick it up and you kind of squeeze it and you're like, oh, yep, that's it. But I want to know, why are we squeezing it, and what are some signs of finding the good and bad fruit?
Well, let's start with avocados. You know, a lot depends on when you want to use the fruit that you're buying.
Yes.
So there's a couple stages in avocados that you want to look for. So this avocado, for example, when you see this nice green shine to it, is not very ripe. So this is not ready to go.
So
one that has...
Can I touch it? Do I need to put some
certainly.
gloves on?
No,
Oh,
you can
okay.
touch it.
So it's kind of hard,
Yep,
right? So
very
when you
hard.
know it's like hard, it's, wait a minute.
Yep, it's going to take a day, maybe 2 days. Where opposed to this one, where it has that darker, more rippled texture to it, that one's more ready to go.
Oh,
Can you
yes.
see how that gives a little bit when you squeeze it?
I already taste the guacamole as we're touching it.
So there's kind of a fine line too. You don't want it to get too soft, because then when you cut into it, it'll be kind of black inside. It'll start to turn, and you're...
Quick question about that.
Yeah.
So I hear in two different households. So say you see a little bit of black stuff or discolored darker. I know some people, they just grab a spoon, cut that out, and you can eat the rest of it, right? But some
Yes.
people feel like, oh, I need to throw the whole avocado away.
Well, you'll be throwing away a lot of avocados, because there's no real way to prevent some of that as they ripen. So my train of thought is that you cut that piece off. Obviously, it's not going to taste good. You don't want it in your guacamole, but you do want to discard that piece of it. But the rest of the fruit is still okay. Another little trick is when you pop these stems off, if it's ripe, it'll be green in there.
Oh, can we, I don't know if the camera can catch that, but you see how it's like green right there? Is that what you were saying?
Yep. So you just take that little stem out, and if it's green, that'll be a good indication that the fruit inside is green and ready to go.
Okay, so when we take that stem off and then you see it's green, is that going to do any damage to the avocado, or does that mean
No.
eat it right away?
That you'd probably want to remove that when you're ready to eat it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Just
So
tips.
then you'd be ready to cut that and dice it up and use it for either, you know, just as a little treat, or you can make guacamole with it, top it on burgers. Endless solutions.
Making me hungry already.
I know.
We had all this pie yesterday. Now I'm like, oh, maybe we should have had the avocado day.
Right.
So when it comes here to apples, if I was here at the produce aisle at Cashwise,
Yep.
obviously that's the best place to shop. What would...
So this is a new variety. It's called Cosmic Crisp. Apples are a little bit more durable. This is a fruit that really stands up well to travel, stands up well to temperature, and it really has a little bit more shelf life. So when you look at it, you just want to look for, you know, branch marks or a bruise that might be developing. So as it's transported to our store, you might have a small bruise on it that isn't really visible, but as it's sitting on your counter or in your fridge, it might start to grow a little bit. So you just want to look at that, especially at the store. You know, when you look into the produce department, it's a living, breathing organism. That product, from the moment it's picked, is aging. Some for the better and some for the worse. Pineapple, for example, is a fruit that's harvested fresh, ready to go. It's one of the very few that are done that way. So when that arrives at our store, it's ready to go. Where bananas, for example, it's a work in progress. So if you notice this bunch here, very green. When they're picked, they're green as that avocado. Then they're shipped to our store, and our suppliers and our teams are always conditioning and managing that product. So they come wrapped in boxes with plastic bags inside that help trap the ethylene gas that the fruit actually produces. And we temperature control that so that we can try to have the perfect banana out on our shelves for you. So what we attempt to do is have greener ones for a day or two down the road, and then we try to shoot for the green tips that you have here for the more ready to go bananas. So it's a very difficult fruit to manage.
Absolutely.
So there's an art to that.
I have more questions, and including how we cut them, but we're going to just have you on a little bit longer, Tim, if that's okay, because I want to know how you cut a pineapple. I know they're simple questions, but I have more for you. So you mind sticking around?
Absolutely.
Perfect. We'll see you guys.